In the last Grow Garden update, they added something very major that a lot of people do not know about, like it is a complete secret to the community. And this thing that they added is quite literally a game changer because it can make you so much more shekels every single hour or whatever time you want to even grind the game. It has the ability to apply some mutations that give a lot of multipliers, as well as they're not so common to get anymore. Obviously, in that big update log we had, they mentioned this traveling merchant. Now, they said traveling merchants have arrived. They can appear every 4 hours with purchasable stock that's available for 30 minutes. Each merchant sells their own distinct of goods, and then they listed out the two merchants, aka the Sky Merchant as well as the Gnome Merchant. I'm gonna be honest, they put it in the update log, so everyone should have known, right? However, that's not the case. One thing they did not specify is where this merchant can be found, and the fact that the 4 hours may not happen every single time. Now, these brand new merchants, both of them appear to the left of the seed shop, literally right here next to the first garden, aka where mine is. And every 4 hours, it's not actually a guaranteed chance that you get one or the other, because technically you could get neither. For example, the Gnome Merchant carries this Farmer's Gnome Crate as well as this Common Gnome Crate, which you can go ahead place down inside of your garden, and after a 30-minute timer, you get a random gnome. Well, yeah, as you can tell, that one is pretty trash because there is another merchant, aka the Sky Merchant, which is so overpowered. As you can see, this right here is one of the gnome merchants, and I don't know which egg it is, but I'm assuming this is the common one. And then you also have another one on this website, which, as you can see, these are the farmer ones. However, like I said, this thing kind of is trash. If you're cool for the cosmetics and you like those, go on ahead, but there's some stuff that is way cooler. Because that is where this brand new Sky Merchant comes in. Now, I'm gonna be straight up, bro. This dude is one of the harder things to actually have pop up because, I mean, it's almost like you're trying to get some of the best seeds in the game. But if you do get him, I promise you it's gonna be so valuable, and you definitely want to make sure you're there to buy his goods. But this merchant features up to 3 different things, and those things being the Night Staff, which is one of the old event items, the Star Collar, which is also a very old event item. It's just a better version of the Night Staff, as well as the Mutation Spray Cloud Touched, which this thing is insane. I'm pretty sure right now there's actually only one way to get it, and that is by going over here to the cosmetics and the crafting section, selecting a recipe, and then looking for it. And is it even here? Wait, no, it's not even here. So there's only one way to get it, and it is from the Sky Merchant. Cloud Touch actually gives all of your fruits a 5 times multiplier. And, well, you might be like, Numerous, that is pretty poopy. Why would you ever want that? Well, it's not just Cloud Touch mutation that you're getting. When you buy it from this guy over here, the Sky Merchant, I believe he actually gives you 3 uses, meaning you can use it on up to 3 different things. And whatever the number that is currently on your plant, it's going to multiply by 3 times. So if you have something that's worth like 50 million and you're buying the Cloud Touch for 50 million, well, you're making 100 million profit because it's going to be worth 150 million. Like, let's go ahead, take a magnifying glass and take a look at these elephant ears right here. Let's see how much this is worth. Okay, this is worth 8 billion, and if I go ahead add the Cloud Touch, well, yeah, it's going to be worth a lot more. Since it's a 5 times multiplier, it'll be worth 40 million shekels, meaning I'm basically making back the same exact amount I should. But obviously, you don't want to put it on something that's worth less than like 10 million shekels already. And in case you want to be able to know what it's worth, I would highly recommend going to the gear shop over here, show me the gear shop, and buying the magnifying glass. It is commonly in stock, but it's very good because it allows you to inspect plants to reveal the value without even collecting them. But the most insane and overpowered thing of all is this one thing called the Star Collar, and I should actually have a bunch of these right here. This is one of the things that you can get from the Sky Merchant. This thing quite literally gives you a 120 times multiplier, and it can attract any type of celestial mutation whenever the event happens. I actually don't even think the event has to happen. I'm not quite sure how it works, but if you place it around like any plant, it's a very good chance that that plant is going to get the mutation. And according to the developers themselves, Celestial gives a 120x multiplier to whatever plant it's applied to. So you're already getting a 5 times multiplier, and then you multiply by 120, you're already at a 600 times multiplier on whatever plant. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not it, because there's also another mutation that you can go ahead get on it too. The Sky Merchant sells these 3 things. You got the Star Collar, which I just mentioned, and then obviously the mutation spray Cloud Touch, which I did also mention. But you also have the Night Staff, which is 12 million shekels. This Night Staff, although it is not actually the best, it is probably the worst thing you can buy from this thing, but it is basically guaranteed to get every time that the Sky Merchant does appear over here. It gives you a 2 times multiplier. So if you were to multiply all those numbers and then multiply by 2, you get a 1200x multiplier just from that. So for example, let's say my elephant ears have a base price of 60,000, just a random number. If I go ahead and multiply this 60,000 times 1200, because that is the multiplier of all 3 of these mutations applied, that means my elephant ears will quite literally have a 72 million value. Now I will say your price is going to be a little bit higher buying all those 3 things in order to use, but one, you get multiple uses on the Cloud Touch mutation spray, but also you can wait for other mutations to be applied from the game by itself. For example, if it rains, if there's a tornado or whatever, so you can get twisted and stuff. Now currently the Sky Merchant is the only merchant in the game that can actually provide you with, you know, useful stuff inside of the game. But since it currently only has 3 things, I would expect them to add more. I don't know if they're trying to keep up with the theme of like sky, since obviously, you know, clouds. Cloud Touch has to do with clouds. Star Collar has to do with stars, and the Night Staff obviously has to do with the night. So that might be why it's called the Sky Merchant. But one thing I really want to see is, one, for sure, this thing spawning in more often. And we're going to go ahead and try to get it here in a second as well. But also, I would love to see this thing having more of the possibility of the stuff that it carries. Now, keep in mind, this thing happens every 4 hours. And the first one that I'm aware of is 11 a.m. CST. So you can go ahead and convert it into your time zone, but it will be in every single server and it'll just apply here. Now, like I said, there is a chance that it may actually never even happen. But let's go ahead and wait for this merchant to spawn, because it's about to be time for one of them to spawn. And I hope it is the Sky Merchant, bro, but I can't control that. Alright, bro, this merchant is supposed to finally spawn in literally any minute now, and it should be right in this corner. Now, I do hope it's not the Gnome Merchant, and I actually hope it's the Sky Merchant, aka the one that we need for all this crazy stuff in it. Alright, come on, game, bro. Just please spawn it in. I've been waiting forever. Come on, you're supposed to come here any second now. As soon as this gear or merchant resets, which is in 30 seconds, the seed shop resets, that is when we'll actually be able to see it. Come on. Oh my god, no, it's the Gnome Merchant. But like I said, this is one of them, and as you can see, it sells you the common crate, which can give you these gnomes. I have no idea why you would ever want this. This is literally just a meme merchant. Mr. Nomeo over here is selling it, but I am gonna buy that, as well as the Farmer's Gnome crate, and these are some of the possibilities that this merchant can sell. It does actually have more than just this, and you could possibly get more, but this is, for example, what the stock has, and the Sky Merchant is definitely the one that you want to look for. But I guess I might as well wait till that one spawns. So 4 more hours till that happens. So as you could tell, yeah, we did not get it, and this new hour that I've actually been waiting, it decided just not to spawn. However, the one thing that did happen is that the moon lids happen, which means I can use my staffs, which, wait, do I have any? Oh my god, bro, are we serious? I actually have no moon staffs? Come on, bro. Night staff, please be in my inventory, bro. No, I don't think I have a single one of them. But like I said, the night staff is the one that is worse since it only really gives you moonlit and it's just not that good. But if you can get the star collar, it is insane. It's a 120 times multiplier and it will be inside the sky merchant. However, I will say the sky collar once again is the rarest thing that can pop up in the merchant. Most of the time it's going to be out of stock, or else you're just not going to see it in there at all. Dragonfly applied gold to elephant ears. Yo, say less, bro. From what I've heard, though, the developers are probably going to be making changes to this because a lot of people just aren't happy with the current state of the merchants. They are still arguably very secret and not many people know about it because the only time it happens is literally every 4 hours, meaning it is probably the rarest event inside the game. And every time that it happens, there's a summer harvest going on, a mega harvest going on, a new event is starting up. So, you know, it's hard to know that it's actually happening. And back when I was testing it before the update had came out, the developers seemed like they were actually going to scrap out the idea or delay it until a further update. But apparently, it turns out it got added in within the same update. And it's going to be very interesting to see how else they're going to change it, because I will say it's very overpowered if you can get it, but it's also very rare to have it appear. I personally just spent 8 hours waiting for it and, well, nothing happened at all. Something that I do really hope they do in the future with it, though, is one, adding more merchants and removing things that are kind of accessory related. It really doesn't make sense to have things or merchants that can spawn accessories when you literally have a shop over here for it. Like, who do I go to talk to, bro? I forgot. I think it's this dude. Yeah, look, I can buy beach crates off of this, bro. Why would I need a merchant who sells that stuff? I think it's better if it was inputted into here, and instead of having this reset every so few hours, they could have a little section that resets hourly. I think that'd be a really cool idea, especially introducing the new stuff into there instead. But something I would also really like is for them to add a merchant that sells seeds. I do understand currently that we have the seed shop where you're able to see all the seeds, but it would be really cool if there could possibly be a merchant that sells seeds much better than the ones here that can spawn every few hours. And well, that way you'd have to be in game for it. And who knows? I mean, they could do a little cool live event for it saying that, you know, this merchant's about to spawn in like 15 minutes. And it has like a whole animation of it coming down and stuff. I think that would be really cool. If you watched my last video, I basically made a video showing the update leaks for the upcoming one, as well as potential update ideas. And one of the ones I had was this Galactic Blossom, which was basically, you know, a candy blossom that is much better instead. Because in case you didn't know, inside the newest update event that they've put out, they did say also discovering / unlocking a seed better than the candy blossom, multiple other seeds, pets, and so much more in the Grow a Garden update. And that is all planned for the prehistoric update, so it'd be really cool to have some prehistoric candy blossom or galactic candy blossom and put it into the sky merchant, or well, you could have another merchant for it too. I think it's a perfect time for the developers to do it if they ever wanted to do something like that, but who knows? Comment down below what you guys think. If they had to make a new merchant, what you think they should add to it. I'm very interested to read your comments, and I'll definitely be hearting them. But also make sure you're subscribed, because if you're not, man, please just subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. And I'll definitely be sure to get this brand new seed that's better than the candy blossom as soon as the update comes out. But until then, use StarCode num because it helps me out so much, like I said. And watch this video on the screen right here. I went ahead and handpicked it for you because it's one of my favorite videos, and I think you guys are gonna really like it. I'm a new Grow Garden content creator, so go ahead, watch this one. You guys might very much enjoy it. And until then, bye.